G'day legends, g'day superstars. It's Peps here for the round 21 tipped out tips for a massive round of AFL football. Jamie cannot make it again tonight. Father duties have got him, but he's sent through his tips, and my goodness, has he gone out on a limb with some of his selections. 3 weeks to go, massive games across the board. Top 4, top 8, first round draft picks are all up for grabs, and it kicks off with a belter tomorrow night, 7:50 p.m. at the home of football, MCG. The Melbourne Demons, second on the ladder, versus the Collingwood Magpies, third on the ladder. It is the Chris Stores plate, and have we got changes? In for the Ds is Triple B, Big Ben Brown, making it in for a return game 3 weeks out, back to get back on the park and hopefully working towards finals football. In for the Magpies is Brody Mychek, a massive in. He is their most up-to-date, forward you could ask for. I don't know what I said there, but he is the pinnacle for the Pies up forward. Out for the Ds is Cade Chandler, and the Weed O'Minimid has been taken out of the garden. Sam Wiedemann has been left out. Taylor Adams injured, a massive injury concern. It just limits their midfield hard rotations. And Trent Bianco has been omitted with Jamie Elliott playing his 150th game. I don't have to go into why this game's important. I don't need to go into why this game is going to be the best one of the round. I don't need to go into what it sets up for the remainder of the season. Whoever wins this locks in a top 4 spot and potentially top 2 as well. I'm going with the Ds. I'm going with my boys, and I'm going by 4 goals. Jamie the J-Dog Wallis is going by a massive, a huge, a large 21 points for the Ds as well too. So 2 Demon picks. Once again, it's going to be interesting to sort of see how this game goes. Collingwood have won 6 or 7 out of the last against the Ds. The Ds hit down with injury massively in that last Queen's birthday game. Is that going to be the reason for it? I don't know. They've just got more to play for. Collingwood have won 10 in a row. They want to go for 11, and I don't think it's going to happen. But hey, it's going to be a belter, and you know it's going to happen. Well, that also means that it's going to be moving into Saturday football, and that simply means it's going to be
Super Saturday.
Saturday, August the 6th, Geelong Cats at St Kilda. GMHB Stadium, 7:25 p.m. Bring your woolies and take the train in because you cannot get a car park even if you tried. Rightio, the tape measure. Reece Stanley is back in. Out is Gary Rowan, injured. Joel Selwood managed the celebrations after the 350th. Must have been huge. Jake Colajasny plays his 150th, and Brad Close plays his 50th. In for the Saints, Dougal Howard, the Duck, is back in. Out, Jared Leinart omitted, and he has been scorched again. This guy just keeps getting burnt. Ryan Burns omitted. Dougal Howard playing his 100th game. Geelong by the length of the Flemington Straight. Best team in it at the moment. They'll do this by about 5 goals. Jamie is going Geelong by 50. Just going to be too easy for them. Even having Rowan out, even having Selwood out, the 2-team ruckman of Segler and Stanley is going to be huge, and St Kilda aren't going to be able to cope with them. Their season is finished. Start packing up. Get ready for the midgets, boys, because Mad Monday is coming quick, and it's going to be happening in 3 weeks' time. Rightio, GWS versus the Essendon Bombers, 2:10 p.m. at Giants Stadium. In for the Giants, it's Riccardi, Kieran Briggs, and Stephen Cornelio is back in. Oh, and have a look at the big names that they have slaughtered after their pitiful effort last week. Callum M. Brown, omitted. Jacob Ware, omitted. Lockie Ash, omitted. Xavier O'Halloran, omitted. Big names, leaders amongst the club have been left out. And you can hear the cynical in my voice because that is a joke. Good to see that they've gone and swung the big axe on a couple of those big name players. In for the Essendon Football Club, Andy McGrath and Darcy the Parish is in. Jai Corbell injured. Jai Menzies, the meaty sub, out there. Massimo D'Ambrosio omitted. Will Snelling playing his 50th game. Who do you go with here? Do you go with a team that's just been putrid all season, or do you go for a team who's been the GWS? Because Essendon, yes, they've won, I think, 4 out of their last 5. But the false economy, the season's been over. I've spoken about this on the Lace Out podcast. They're teasing their fans again. They're the strippers of the AFL. They tease. And just when you think you're going to be getting somewhere, nothing ever happens. I will say, though, they are playing some pretty good football, and I'm tipping them to win by 4 goals. Jamie has picked them to win by 2. It will be a close one up there. What will GWS do? Will they spike after their lashing by their coach, Mark McVeigh, last week? Or will they put the tail between their legs and limp towards the end of the season? I reckon it could be a little bit of A, but I reckon it'll be more of B. And so that's why I'm going with this, and so is the J-Dog. Rightio. Hey, this is going to be, bring your thermals for this one. 1:45 p.m. It's winter, and it's in University of Tasmania Stadium. The Hawthorn Hawks versus the Gold Coast Suns. Have a look at the ins. Denver Granger Barras, the hyphen is in. Jai Sarong and Jarman Impey all in for the Hawks. Out is Chaka Jayath, suspended. James Blank managed. Josh Morris injured and Mitch Lewis injured. Jai Sarong, first game. Good luck with your career, young man. In for the Suns, Alex Davies and Brandon Ellis. A lot of experience, especially from the Brandon Ellis side of things. Huego Paul Oaya, Medi Sub, Olev Markov. The sexy Mo has been omitted, and Rory Atkins omitted as well. Interesting. Okay, simply this. They've got a lot of injuries. I think Mitch Lewis is going to be the big one out of all that. Down forward, he's been playing some really, really good footy, kicking goals for the Hawks, and without him there, it's going to make it harder. And then you make the rebound of CJ off the half-back line is going to make it even harder for them. Couple that with the Gold Coast Suns still wanting to win each and every single game to play finals football. I'm simply going for the Suns, but I reckon this will be a close one under a goal. I reckon it's going to be an under a goaler. Hawthorn love playing down at Hobart or Tasmania, and I think they're a massive chance, but I think that the Suns, just with what they've still got the opportunity to play finals football, mathematically they can still make it. But the big boy, the big boy, J-Dog, is picking him to go by 31. So we're both going with the Suns, and it will be shining down there in Tassie for Gold Coast. Rightio. It is the David Roden Cup happening here in Port Adelaide. And talk about two teams who have to win football. One for the coach's perspective, one to potentially pay finals. We're talking about 7:40 p.m. at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide versus Richmond. Let's have a look at the ins. Bryn Teagle Dan, Houston, Texas is back in fall. Port Adelaide, Lockie Jones injured. Mitch Georgiades omitted. I don't know why, J-Dog. You're going to have to give us some input on Tuesday night why Mitch Georgiades is out. Maybe he's taken all the limelight off beautiful Mr. Dixon down there. And Todd Marshall, health and safety protocol. In for Richmond, Josh Gibkiss out. Dylan Grimes injured and Shane Edwards managed. Why is it when you play a milestone game, you then get managed? Is that just saying, look, we're getting you across the line and that's it? I'm not too sure. But looking at this, Todd Marshall, a big loss. Georgiades, a big loss. I know it's at home, but Grimes is a big loss as well too. So that sort of carries those two out. I'm going with Port. I reckon J-Dog's mob can pinch this one. I reckon they want to have a bit of pride towards the end of the season. Now, will it be a big margin? I don't know. I'm going by 2 goals. So I'm going by 11 points, 2 goals at the most. J-Dog is going with his mob to... No, he's not. He's going by Richmond by 45. J-Dog, come on, champ. Absolutely no faith in... he keeps telling me that he does want Ken Hinkley there for another season. But according to his tip, he doesn't. So I'm going with Port. He's going with Richmond. But the big game, this is finals bound, this one. This is another 8-point game. Last semi-game of the round. That's a graveyard shift, but no one will be dying at all. Everybody will be living to watch this one. Western Bulldogs, 4:35 p.m. Marvell Stadium against Fremantle. Let's have a look at the ends and talk about big ones here. Adam Treloar back. Alex Keith back and making his debut. The massively touted, the massively hided, the lanky Darce. Sam Darcy is in for his first game, and have a look at the omissions. Slashity //. Buku Kamas omitted. Mitch Hannon omitted. Robbie McComb omitted, and Ryan Gardner out. Caleb Daniel playing his 150th game. The helmeted superstar that he is. Well done, my friend. In for Fremantle, Darcy Tucker and Nathan O'Driscoll. Out Bailey Banfield, Medi-Sub. Liam Henry omitted and Travis Collier omitted after their disaster against the D's last week. Dogs for me, Western Bulldogs love playing at Marvell. It's going to be a fast deck. It's going to be a nice, clean deck. Sam Darcy will be standing on heads He'll kick a minimum of 3 in his first game. Put that one in your multi. They need to win to stay in the finals, and they will do this quite handsomely. I'm going by 4 goals, 24 points for me. J-Dog is going with the Dogs by 5 points. He thinks it's going to be a lot closer. I don't think it will. All right. We're going to the last 3 games of the round, and we're starting off at Sunday, August the 7th. Massive clash for both teams. It's the first one on the list, but it will be the most talked about game on the weekend. Brisbane Lions, after their disaster at the G last week, versus Carlton after their disaster in Adelaide, 3:20 p.m. Gabba. Brandon Starcevic, the money man, Daniel Rich is in. He who comes earlier, Jackson Pryor and Kai Lohman all in for Brisbane. Out is Nakia Kakatu. He's flying away from the coop. He's been omitted. In for Carlton is Brody Kemp, Caleb Marchbank, Jackie Martin, Jack Nunes, Lachlan Fogarty, and Paddy Dow. Big ins, but have a look at the outs. Lucky Plowman omitted. Matthew Kennedy injured, and Nick Newman injured as well. Adam Saab playing game 150. Caleb Marchbank playing his 50th game. Well done, gents. Rightio, you got a team who should have been locked in a top 4 spot by now and is throwing away games, hasn't been able to hit the scoreboard for a while. They're up by an absolute Monty, 7 goals last week against Richmond and fall in a heap against a team that has looked the goods through 3 quarters of the season, but is falling away quite quickly at the back end. I don't know if it's tiredness. I don't know if it's desire. I just don't know if it's cohesion. I have no idea. The only reason I'm picking Brisbane is it's because it is at home, and we know they love playing up there. It's going to be in the middle of the afternoon. It is going to be hot. People say that doesn't make a difference. I say it does. The heat does hit, especially in the last quarter, and they'll be roaring, no pun intended, to take this one out. And I reckon this is going to get a little bit messy. I'm going 6 goals, Brisbane Lions over Carlton. J-Dog is going by 15, so he's making it a little bit closer, but I think Brisbane have a point to prove. If they want to be a premiership contender, this is the game that they need to pretty much knock Carlton out of the finals race and set themselves up for that top 4 finish. And they need to finish top 2 to get that home final in the first week. So I'm going Brisbane. J-Dog's going Brisbane as well. But I reckon that's going to be a belter of a game. This one won't be. This will be a percentage booster for the Swans, no doubt about it. North Melbourne, 1:10 p.m. versus the Sydney Swans at Marvel Stadium. In the hallway, Aaron Hall. Aiden Core, Flynn Perez, Josh Goda, Lockie Young, Paul Curtis all in. Out, Mr. Stiffy, Aiden Bonner has got a flopper. Omitted. Jackson Archer injured. Phoenix Spicer, what a name. Omitted. Josh Goda, first game. Good luck to you, my friend. Cadis Taylor playing his 50th. In for the Swans, Ben Ronke, Logan McDonald, Matt Roberts, Peter Laddams in. Joel Armity has been left out. Swans by 20, J-Dog says. I reckon it's actually going to be a lot more than that. I reckon it's going to be around 8 goals. So 6-8 to 48. Look, maths has paid off for me. Swans just need to get percentage if they want to get that top 2 spot and also probably lock in that top 4 spot as well. Great opportunity for North. North have been a lot better over the last few weeks. Can they maintain it towards the end of the year? I hope so. They were poor last week, but stranger things have happened over the last couple of weeks. This is potentially a game that could get thrown. I don't think it's going to happen. The Swans have way too much to play for, and North are just going to continue to that number 1 draft pick. And the last game of the weekend, it's 4:10 p.m. Optus Stadium, West Coast Eagles versus the Adelaide Crows. The best name in the AFL, Greg Clark. Jackson Half Nelson is in. Josh J. Kennedy is in for his last game. Reddy Bazzo, the hyphen, Sam Tresky-Steaton, and Zach Langdon all in. Connor West injured. Jack Petrocelli injured. Jai Elbows Cully is out with suspended. Willie Rioli playing his 50th game. It is the 70s rock star, Billy Frampton, Jackson Haitley, and the man you put on when you're very cold, Lockie Scholl, all in. No outs at this particular moment. Rory Laird playing his 200th game for Adelaide. I'm going with West Coast simply because it's Josh Kennedy's last game. And if they can't get up for this guy who has kicked over 700 goals in the top 20 to 30 goal kickers of all time in the AFL, premiership player, all Australian, nothing will get up for this club. And they need to show this guy something. Adelaide were fantastic last week against Carlton. I just think it's going to be having too much emotion riding on the back. Adelaide haven't been that bad this year. They haven't been that good either, but I think they've performed at a rate better. Darren Birch has had a massive thing to do with that. Matthew Nix, they love him down there. And also a little bit of the controversy coming out of the Crows camp again might put a bit of a dampener on this. So I'm going with the Wet Toast Eagles. I'm going by 2 goals. J-Dog is going for the Eagles by 26. Josh Kennedy, you have been an absolute star. Good luck with your future endeavours after this one, but I think the Eagles are going to take this one out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that's your tipped out tips for a massive, a huge, a large
Round 21
of AFL football. Remember, there's only 3 weeks of footy to go. Then we've got the break, and then we're in to the Toyota AFL Final Series. Join us, myself, Chris Pepper, and the co-host with the most, Jamie Wallis, on Tuesday night on the Facebook page, or just listen to us every single week like you're getting us now on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, you name it. We're there for you as well too, because this is tipped out, and it's how you want your tips. Hope your team wins, unless you're Collingwood, and more importantly, enjoy your footy. It's lace out, and it's how you want your footy.